Hi everyone. I would like to share with you my experience with the Celtic Tree Oracle, a system of divination. It's by Liz and Colin Murray, and this is a beautiful set of cards. It's a little set with only 25 cards. You can see how there's a little spread here. This is my first system using the Owen system, and you can see I think for this particular set it seems like I've heard people say it's out of print. There were several different versions of it, and you can see that for these cards each of them is a tree or a plant, and you have the Gaelic name, the English name, the Owen on the side, and then there are also dots that represent the ranking of the particular tree or plant. For example, 3 dots, as you would have for you, that's a chieftain tree, or maybe for the peasant tree there's 2, like the birch, or there are also shrubs, for example, for reed, elder, and other plants. And colors are very muted, so one reason I want to share is this is a card that really this is a set that really relies on your relationship with the plants, your understanding of what they stand for, because while the card is very rich, you can see the colors are very muted. They're all in kind of the same hue, not a lot of contrast. There's a lot of beautiful Celtic borders, and you see different parts of the tree details represented. For example, for something like the reed, you see the salmon, water, arrows representing the directions. And as for how to use these cards for reading, in the booklet that comes with it, there's 2 pages for every card, for every tree. For example, the willow, you get a little bit of culture, historical context of it, and what this card means. Sometimes there is a meaning for reverse. And so for how deep the Owen, how old the Owen system is, this is not a lot of direction. And when you go to the recommended spread, the default spread for it is one that requires 15 cards. 15 cards. It's going to be laid out in 3 circles. You can see here. First circle also represents the past, or what constitutes the problem that's being asked. The second circle for the present. And the third for the path forward, maybe the forces of a possible solution. And in each circle you have the correspondence, the 4 directions, and a center card. So when you do a reading, not only do you look at the relationships between the 3 circles, you will look at the relationship between that unites each direction. So for 5 cards in a circle, we have 5 categories that's laid out in the book, and I will show you guys here. For example, for everything in the north direction, that'll be the foundation. And for 3 circles, you get 3 cards for the foundation. So for the first, you have foundation. For the south, you have the spotlight. In the east, you have vocalization. In the west, you have dreams. In the center, you have the etheric link. So because of how these cards will be drawn for the 15 cards, there is a possibility that cards might show up multiple times. So not only do you look at a relationship within a circle, relationship across other categories, you also look at if something appears more than once, there's emphasis on it, or sometimes if there are chieftain cards or as opposed to shrub, then there's importance weight on it. And given how the reading sheet's laid out, you would let me show you an example. For example, I did a reading for the first circle. I have the birch on the top, and then followed by that is the elder. So I would transcribe that, the birch over here to here, the chieftain marks, elder over here, and then the third circle, same direction. I have the vine, and then that's transcribed here. And then you would take condensed meaning from the book, which is very convenient. Just on the first page and the last pages, there's a condensed meaning of each of the ogham, and you would take those down. For example, three I had, those are birch. We start in beginning, first month of November, and I also had elder right here in the beginning and the 13th month, which is just the days before November, the first month, and also moon vine, which is prophecy. And so prophecy for vine. And so with those three cards, if I write them down all together on the sheet, for example, for foundation, that for me seems to speak a lot to, you know, beginnings and to consecutive months from October to November. This seems, for me, it's almost speaking to maybe a reincarnation, something that's from a past life, or that will be always continuing. And so as you look through these relationships, you can kind of talk through what's being focused on, what's being think through, and what's the intuitive or emotional side of it, and how do you come up with the solution. If you focus on maybe third circle, then you would be looking at all the third cards in all these 5 categories, because the third one, that would be from the third circle, and then you'll be making associations from there, and wonder how that's how you would approach it, how you pick up relationships. And for this one in particular, you see fur has shown up 2 times for me. You has also shown up 2 times, and there's, you know, based on their location, are they communicating several things, or is that the stronger theme that take place in this reading more than anything else? Okay, so, and of course, that's an elaborate way, and I started this way because I think this has old history. It comes from tree alphabets. They're not originally cards or very visual. They are trees and plants and symbols. So I decided I want to start with what the authors has recommended, the standard way, and get familiar with them. But also I will try out the simpler ways, daily guidance, or simpler questions, that kind of format, to have an opportunity to each time spend more time with just a few trees. Here it is. That's moon. That's the vine. Look at there's the field of where they grow. And so the booklet almost serves as a kind of a very condensed overview of what there is to learn about ogham. It's almost like a list of questions or a list of research topics that you would want to have, and the case studies, that's included here are very down to earth and clear. For example, there's one couple asking about what to do with their apartment or land that they might need to sell and how that turns out. I feel this is really, with how powerful and broad it is, the meanings of trees given are very prophetic. I don't know the word, but it gives a very big picture. So even the book, it has suggested, looking a year forward, that might be a good way to use these cards. That's also how you could practice by doing readings and recording them and coming back to see how all the events unfold, and from there you understand how you understand these symbols. So I would love to know how people are using this deck and your connection, what brought you to using OM, or is it something else that make you want to use this set of cards. But very beautiful, just looking at them, so peaceful. And I will continue on this journey and share when I have more experience. Thank you.